Hey everybody, it's me, Tori, and today I want to talk to you about a question that I get actually quite often from the artists that I follow and follow me through social media and work with. And that question is, should I build a social media following before I display my or share my artwork or exhibit my artwork somewhere? And I feel like that kind of question is a little bit of a what comes first, the chicken or the egg? And I believe it's so important for creatives as part of owning their own sales cycle and business is to have a social media presence and don't shy away from it. Yes, there is such a learning period when it comes to learning like TikTok or Instagram or Facebook's your jam, but I would say pick one that you're really good at and spend your time on that application. If you want to try new applications and learn the ropes, there's no harm in doing so, and in fact, better on you for doing that. But I would say that it's not necessarily important to have a social media following before you exhibit your artwork or share it. I would say when I first started Instagram, like doing my artwork, Instagram definitely wasn't as popular as it is and very vital to your business now. So I would say, just drawing back from experience then, you don't need to have a huge social following before you exhibit your artwork. I think it's so admirable for you to leverage your community and do an exhibit and build a social media following at the same time. So I hope that sort of busts that myth, like chicken or egg sort of thing. Both are really important, but there isn't a timeline for either of which one needs to come first. But definitely make sure you're putting an effort into both, because as important as it is to be sharing your artwork online, it's also an amazing experience to be able to share it in the physical form with people wherever you are. And the importance of building your artist CV, even if they're shows that you've put on. My first 5 or 6 shows were shows I put on, and it just shows how committed you are to this lifestyle that you want, and that you're willing to do whatever it takes to do it. So that hopefully answers that first question. The second piece is how to exhibit, and I think I've just covered a little bit of this, but we'll talk about it anyways. It doesn't have to be at a gallery. It doesn't have to be at a coffee shop. You can find a warehouse space or someone's home and put on your own show that way. Heck, you can even do it online these days. So you don't need to be confined to a gallery space or an exhibition space to put on your first art show. Get creative. Have it at somebody's house now that things are opening up with COVID. My very first art show was actually at a retail store that I worked for, and we closed down the shop for the night, and I invited my community to come join me. This is again before Instagram, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. Having the balls to put on my first show and do it at a space that isn't necessarily normal made it even that much more fun. And it gave me the confidence to continue doing it. And I did start renting out spaces after that, empty spaces that were rentable, and then eventually working with galleries in the end. Which brings me to my next question, which is how do I work with galleries? And I would say that reaching out to galleries, sending an email may not get you far, but persistency and consistency is important. That is how I landed my gallery connection, was just I emailed them one day amongst the 1,000 other galleries I had contacted, and it worked out for us. But there was hundreds that didn't work out and a lot of no's. So you need to be prepared to receive no's. I've also applied to countless submissions. Submissions to art fairs and group exhibitions. I've gone to art fairs and I've talked to gallery owners. I've even gone knocking on gallery doors. And I actually learned a lot of information I was guided into different places to look and submit artwork. And so I would say that there's no such thing as a loss when it comes to putting yourself out there and asking and requesting for to work with a gallery. You may get a no, but you'll also get information from them that can support you down the road. The thing is, when you do get to the point when you're ready to exhibit artwork, make sure you build a cohesive collection. My very first show that I did was not, and that's okay because it was my first show, but I did have consistency with the work. Everything was in a similar style. I clearly had my nude portraits, and then I clearly had paintings that were all painted a similar way, and they all told a story. So when you are creating your work for your first show, definitely make sure that there is cohesion between the artwork. Maybe even feel inspired for, let yourself be inspired by a concept or a theme and let that guide your work. You don't need to have like 12 pieces. Even 5 is enough, or whatever number you want to show. Sometimes it's just 1 and you're putting it into an exhibition. So don't put the stress of having to have like 20 pieces that all look and feel the same on yourself, but pick something that you want to have as a cohesion. Maybe it's just 1 color, and let that tell a story for your artist statement when you do go to show it. Okay, and the last thing I would say is not all your artwork needs to be for sale, and this is a really important point to remember. Everything we create is beautiful and everything we create is necessary. And sometimes we create shit, but it's beautiful because it depends on who sees it, right? Sometimes we are our own worst critic. But one of the things I've learned over my years is that it's really important to be proud of the artwork you're putting out there. And I've been in situations where I've sold work, I've put work up, and I know it wasn't my best. And I could have done better. And now looking back on those times, I'm grateful because I learned from it. But I now know the importance and value of putting yourself first and putting like your best foot forward. Not all your pieces are going to be perfect, but they will become gateways. And sometimes taking a step back and looking at them in another perspective allows you to see the perfection of them as they are. So remember that when you are putting together a collection, you don't have to put all your work out there. Pick your best pieces that you're the most proud of, and let that guide your ship. So there you have it. Those are 5 different perspectives on exhibiting your artwork, building your strategy, which one to do first, how to work with galleries, and so on. I hope it was helpful for you. See you guys later.